What is crackin', TJ Perkins Vlogs? So we're gonna do a little bit of a story time today. Uh, we're gonna talk about the time I got caught vaping at school and my parents found out that I vaped for the first time. So let's get on into it. So, I had started vaping my freshman year of high school. And I did it because one year in Montana, my best friend Chris, his brother, he was 16, 17 at the time. And we were out there at the lake, and he told me, dude, try this. So me and Chris had started trying it, and we really liked it and all. And I got addicted to nicotine, so that's why I started vaping and everything. So one day at school, I think it was beginning of the year, probably like 2 months into school. It was still summertime. And I had my buddy Caden's mod. Y'all know Caden. My buddy Caden's mod in my backpack because he didn't want to take it to class because he was scared because his teacher, for some reason. I couldn't tell you the reason. So, me and this kid Lorenzo had been in the gym locker room. It was locked up. Like, you can't get in it from the outside or anything. But there was one kid in there way after class, probably 20 minutes after class started, and I was in my off hour. And we're just in there and we're vaping just a little bit, and I'm hitting on my own mod. Caden's is in my bag still. And so this kid, there was only one kid, and he would have been the one to snitched. There's no other way that anyone else would have found out. And so we're just vaping in there, and this kid just walks by and kind of like stares at us. I've never seen him in my life. And so later that hour, probably 20 minutes after that kid walked by or anything, we had went and sat back down at the lunch tables, and I had both mods in my bag, just kind of pouched in a pocket, just sitting right next to each other because I didn't think anything of it or anything. And so keep in mind, this kid just walks by and just kind of stares at us both. And so the dean walks out, and I've never been in trouble at this school before this. The dean walks out and just heads straight for me. And my buddy Lorenzo just got up, walked out, and I didn't really think that I was going to get in trouble for anything. I didn't think no one knew. And so I have my backpack just sitting on the bench, and there's this girl's backpack sitting there. So the dean goes, I need to talk to you about vaping in school. And she goes, you better bring the mods or else you're getting suspended. So I was like, I don't have any mods. I don't know what you're talking about or anything. And so I tried to play a little move on her, you could say, but I grabbed the chick's backpack because she told me to. I grabbed the chick's backpack, and she looked inside of it. There was no mod or anything. She goes, I know you have the mods. You give me the backpack that has them. So at this moment, I'm just trying to think of something to get out of this. I'm just thinking. And I was like, well, I don't have any, so I can't give you any. And I was just trying to get my way out of it. I just kept on thinking of excuses. Yeah, at that moment, I was just going through trying to get these like excuses, trying to get out of it because I was shaking. I was so scared. So at this very moment, I just grabbed my bag and I was just going to face the consequences. So I just handed her my bag, and she didn't find the mods at first. She looked in the big pocket. There was nothing in the big pocket. So I had like one of those JanSports. So you have like the big pocket and then the little pocket up front. And I had them in the little pocket, and there's like a few different pouches and then like a little pouch up front. So I put both of them in like one of the little pouches, and I had mine sitting, and there was just a silver little box mod with an RDA on it, and then I had Caden's that is a mech mod, so it's about this long and about that big around. And they were sitting right next to each other, and she grabs Caden's, and at that moment I'm like, okay, so this is just getting worse and worse, and he's gonna get super mad at me. So, she didn't grab mine. She didn't think anything of mine. She didn't touch it or anything. She didn't even glance at it. So she just straight goes for Caden's. So we go to her office and we're talking. And we talked for probably 15, 20 minutes. And I just said, yeah, I'm holding that for a friend. Nothing. I was holding it. And she just kept going on about how, like, drugs and, like, how it could go with drugs. And I was like, there's not going to be any drugs on that. Like, it's just vape. And she just kept proceeding marijuana on there. And I don't smoke marijuana at the least, nothing like that. I only vape. And so they took the mod away, right? And my parents vape. So she calls my parents. She's like, I need to speak to you after school. And so she has the mod. It's at least a $200 mod. Caden saved up for that for a while. And so she's like, I'm going to have to keep this so I can test it for marijuana. Well, it's not like she's going to give it back to me. That's what I was thinking. There's no way she'll give it back. No way. So we're sitting in there for about 5 more minutes. The bell rings. My dad's there to pick us up. And he's picking me, Jared, Caden, and Chris up. So we get walking out there. Caden, Chris, and Jared are all in the car. They all vape. And my parents vape. My parents vape to quit smoking. And so we walk out there. And so my dad's just sitting there, and my dad is kind of like me. He just doesn't give any fucks. So he's just sitting there, and he's just kind of taking hits off his mod as she walks up. And I'm just trying not to laugh because it's my dad, and this time he did not know I vaped. So my dad played it off and just said, yeah, I know he vapes. I let him. And so my dad was being the homie. He hooked it up fat. He kind of got me out of that hole that I dug myself. So, yeah, he was mad that I vaped. Yeah, he was mad I got caught. Yeah, he was mad that I had it at school for the biggest reason. So, he was just kind of talking to me about it with all my buddies in the car. And I kind of told him how I started and why I did it and now what's going on with it. And he started to understand more and more, and then later on down the road, that's when my parents finally started letting me vape, and they would take me to the vape shop when I needed stuff or anything. But this whole situation it dragged bigger than it ever needed to be. First of all, she didn't grab both mods up, which is great, but she grabbed my friends. If it was mine, I wouldn't have been as mad, but she grabbed my friends. Second of all, taking it. Third of all, never going to give it back. I'm in my sophomore year, never got it back. Testing it for THC. And, like, all these just is a bigger problem than you ever needed to be. Like, you could have just talked to me about it and then told me to never bring one again or anything of that sort. But instead, she had to drag it on. But I'm still chucking these clouds, so keep vaping. I'll catch you all in the next one. Like and subscribe, and we will be back tomorrow. Peace.